How to pack the perfect carry-on bag. First off, whenever I carry on, I take two different bags. One is a suitcase that's gonna go in the overhead compartment, and one is a handbag that's gonna be small enough to go under the seat in front of me. The reason I bring two is that I don't want to have to faff around in the overhead compartment every time that I want to get something out to use. I use a bag that's small enough to go under the seat in front of me, but still big enough to hold anything I'm gonna need during the flight, like my laptop or my Kindle or my phone, whatever I'm gonna need. If you're checking a bag, make sure that you have a spare outfit in your carry-on. The reason for this is because if the airline loses your bag, when you get to your destination, you're not gonna have to stay in your grimy travel clothes. If you're going someplace where it's warm and you're gonna be swimming, make sure you pack a swimsuit in your carry-on as well. It would actually kill me if I got to the sun and the sand and didn't have a swimsuit to put on so I could just jump in the water. So I always pack a swimsuit in my carry-on bag. Pack a healthy snack and an empty water bottle in your carry-on. You won't have to buy any food on your flight if you're on a short-haul one. And it also means it's easier for you to stay hydrated on your flight. You won't have to keep asking the stewardess for water or buying bottles at the airport. Bring some entertainment with you on the flight. This may seem like it's a given, but even if you're on a long-haul flight that's going to have a little screen in the back of the seat in front of you, you should bring something anyway. I was on a flight once where the entire row that I was sat in, the TV screens didn't work. So I was really thankful when I had a book and I just read the book until I fell asleep and just slept the rest of the way. So bring a Kindle, bring a book, have your laptop just in case that doesn't work. And of course, don't forget to bring your chargers. A few countries now, they require that before you get on a plane that all of your electronics that you carry on be fully charged. So make sure that you have your chargers with you just in case anything dies, or just so you don't get stuck in the middle of the flight with no Kindle and no phone and nothing to entertain you. And if you get really irritated with having a bunch of cords in your carry-on, you can take an eyeglass case and just stick all of your cords into there. It'll keep them nice and organized. If you're on a long haul flight and you're gonna try to get some sleep, make sure that you pack some eye covers and a neck pillow to help you sleep more comfortably and more easily. I always get really cold on flights, and if I'm cold, I cannot sleep. So I also bring a pair of really fuzzy socks, a pair of leggings, and a cozy sweater so I can bundle up and make sure that I can get some sleep when I'm on the flight. If you're carrying on some liquids, make sure you transfer them to bottles that are 100 mils or 3 ounces or smaller. I find a lot of those refillable travel bottles really annoying, and all the liquid actually just gets stuck in them and you can't get it out, and they're really hard to fill up. So I have these soft travel bottles which are amazing. They're really easy to fill up and you can squeeze them a lot so you can actually get your liquid out when you need them. I'll be sure to include a link to the ones that I have. Go tubes are really popular in the US, but they're kind of expensive here in the UK, so I'll link to both of them so you can pick which ones you want. Once you have your liquids in travel size containers, stick them all in a clear bag, whether that be a cosmetic bag or just a clear plastic Ziploc bag, and put them in a pocket where you can easily get them out for when you go through security. If you have creams or liquids that you only need a really small amount of when you're going to be away, instead of bringing a whole bottle, just put them into little contact lens containers and bring them that way. It'll cut down on the weight of the carry-on and the space you're taking out. So when I am on a flight that's longer than, say, a couple of hours, I always feel like I feel all icky, like greasy and gross. I have a few little beauty bits that I always pack in my carry-on to make sure I feel fresh once I get off the flight. Face wipes are amazing. They can help you feel super, super refreshed after a long flight, and they have little travel size packs of them. So I always throw one of those into my carry-on, so once we land, I can just give myself a little refresh and take off any of the makeup that feels grimy on my face. Vaseline lip balm. I have this really good tin of Vaseline that looks really cute, but is also fantastic for when my lips get really dry, which up in the air happens all the time. And I've also recently heard this tip, which is kind of gross, but if you get nosebleeds or if you're worried about getting sick, you can actually put a little bit of Vaseline on like the inside of your nose, and it helps to keep the germs out and also to keep your nose moisturized, which I'm not gonna demonstrate this right now, but I think you get the idea of how it goes. Dry shampoo, absolutely love it whether I'm traveling or not, it's great. Because the air on an airplane is really dry when you're up in the air, your scalp is probably gonna produce some extra oil, and I always feel like my hair is really greasy after a flight, so I use a little dry shampoo just to give it a little zhuzh, give it some volume, and also just to soak up any of the greases. Really good to have on hand if you're going to a business meeting right after you fly, or if you're doing anything where you're not gonna be able to shower before. White eyeliner and blush. These are the two things I make sure I have really accessible right after I get off my flight. Blush just gives me a little bit of color, which I feel like the color just drains from my face after a long flight. So I put a little bit of pink blush on, and also white eyeliner. White eyeliner is really good for when you have those really tired eyes, which I always get. Just line the bottom rim of your eyes and it'll help you look a little bit more awake and bring out the whites of your eyes, and they won't look quite as red and tired. And a toothbrush. Not quite a beauty thing, but especially on a long haul flight, you kind of feel all nasty and gross after you've slept. So bring a toothbrush and some toothpaste too, and have a little refresh before the flight lands or after you get through passport control. You'll feel a lot better, and the mint will wake you up as well. Lastly, for the perfect carry-on, there are some important things you absolutely must make sure that you pack. Passport, kind of obvious. People forget it. Make sure you have your passport with you before you get to the airport, and always keep checking that it's in your bag where you think it is, so when you land, you don't have any bad surprises. Make sure you have printed confirmations of your hotel stays, your flight back. Just have everything just in case your phone dies or if they ask to see it at passport control. Make sure that you pack anything that's valuable in your carry-on. So for example, your laptop or a camera or anything else that you would be really gutted if you lost it, put it in your carry-on and don't put it into your checked baggage. It's easy for someone to steal something from a checked bag, so put it in your carry-on, that way you'll always have it with you and you don't have to worry about it. And lastly, make sure you have some currency for the place that you're going to. You don't have to have a ton, but just have a bit of a reserve so you can pay the taxi or whatever you need to just to get you started and get you to where you need to be. So that's how I pack my perfect carry-on. What else do you guys like to pack? Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear it. Whether it's something weird or something that helps you stay calm on a flight or helps keep you entertained, write it down in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to my channel. There's going to be a lot more travel advice videos coming your way, and you won't miss them if you subscribe. When you're at the stage of your life where you're not staying in hostels anymore, you're staying more in hotels, or it can be a lot tougher to make friends while you're traveling. So here are 5 things that you can do to help you make some friends while you're on your travels.